All right, man. Going with you for today, man. How's it going, man? What it's like
Hey,
out
thanks,
there?
man. How's it going? Thank you for having me on this evening.
Hey, man, no problem, man. You know how we do.
Oh yeah, everything's been going good. Just relaxing, enjoying this day to day. Every day's a gift, and so I'm just gonna be thankful for it. So thank you.
That's what's up, man. So, like I was telling you earlier, man, I want to kind of start this thing off with, on a positive note, and let's talk about some of the wins you had for the day. And they could be minor, they could be huge, whatever you felt like was a win.
Hmm.
Like talk about, wins for the day. And after elaborate on them, I'll talk about mine, and then we'll go over why I feel like and where I got this from and why I feel like speaking about the wins can go a long way.
Okay, yeah. The first one I got was being able to wake up this morning to see another day, and every day is a gift from the Lord. And so just being able to wake up, be able to go add value, be able to see my family, connect with new people, just be able to allow my light to shine, man. That's a gift and that's a win every single day for me. And then my second win is I got to talk to one of my tax professionals today, so I got that appointment set up to get all that taken care of this weekend, and originally like these past couple of years I would always like kind of like procrastinating, like try to wait to the last minute to do everything, but I'm just like I just want to be ahead of the game for once and just go ahead, set the appointment up and have everything in order so that way I can get the ball moving on some other things.
Man, that's what's up, man.
Hmm. And then what's another win for me today? Just another great day at work. I'm just got back from Denver. I was in Denver all of last week, so traveling, just catching up on emails, getting everything with my calendar set up, and checking emails. That's a win because I was able to get all that done by lunchtime. So the second half of the day, I was just able to just like brainstorm new ideas and come up with other different strategies. So great day.
Oh, so elaborate on that. You went to Denver. What was that about? How long were you there, and what all did you do while you were there? And if you can tell everybody exactly what you do at your job and all that stuff, and
Yeah, so I'm a marketing specialist. So I help when it comes to like trade shows for my company, social media accounts. I help like run those. And so we had a conference out in Denver to where we could through our producer. So I was able to just like meet other industry people and just like connect with them and just learn about like how everything's going with them in the industry and just continue to collaborate with one another. So it was a great. I enjoyed it, and plus it was snowing too. So and it's in the mountains, and I like the mountains.
oh wow, that's
Hmm.
what's up, man. I'm supposed to go out to Denver from May 2nd to the 6th. Got
Hmm.
the Better Life Summit real estate conference, so that'd be my first one. So that'll be pretty cool.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, man. I was contemplating about going or not because man, it was just seemed like I have so much going on, and I was like, man, do I really want to go? Because like I've never been to a real estate conference. I've been to like the real estate seminars, but a real estate seminar and a real estate like actual event conference are two different things.
Hmm.
A seminar is usually a bunch of BS, to be honest. Like they usually bring you there and they try to act like they can tell you how you can become a millionaire overnight. And today only, if you sign up today only, they'll let you do it for like $200, and it's usually like $7,000. That's kind of like their little pitch. And then you spend your $200 and you find out like everything they telling you, you can pretty much Google on YouTube and find the exact same information out there. So that's and then so I don't go to those things, but our actual real estate conference, and it's gonna be like 3 days of actual networking, and you're gonna have like a lot of the bigger pocket big dogs out there, explaining whatever their niche is, and and how they was able to get in their niche, and how we can get into their niche and be able to like win. So that's one thing I definitely am excited about doing. And it's the first time I actually spent this kind of money, like going to like going to an event, and it was hard because it's hard to like spend that kind of money on like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, but it's easy for me to spend that kind of money if I want to go on a vacation or if I wanted to like go to a car show. Like when Rick Ross had his first car show,
Hmm.
I think the tickets was like 350 a piece or something like that. And I didn't blink twice and go to the car show. That's a one-day event. I'm just going there to see cars that I see on the internet all day long. I see in Atlanta all the time. I see in Florida when I'm in Florida. Like cars I've already seen, and some of them I hadn't seen, but it was my main reason why I wanted to go to Rick Ross's car show I wanted to see the cars, but I really wanted to see up close and personal is his house. So that they had it at his house, and you could he was like the mansion's right in front of you, and that's
Oh
how
wow.
about to like houses and stuff. So I really want to get it like a up close and personal view of the house. So that's why I went to the car show, and then I didn't blink twice about spending that money on those tickets. But I had a great time, and I felt like if I want to get to that next level in real estate, I need to start investing in myself. That was supposed to be the name of this show, was investing in yourself. That'll be for another date, but I'm gonna go ahead and touch on why it's important to invest in yourself and why investing in yourself is like the biggest and best investment you can ever make. You know what
100%.
I'm saying? Versus like when somebody be like, where should I put my money at? Where can I get the best return? The best return is in yourself. If you bet on yourself and you really go in and do everything, you got to put some work in.
Yep.
If somebody lay it out for you on what you should do, and how to do it, you have to do it. No shortcuts. You mean you have to do the work. You can't expect to get the results of someone who's doing 10x and you coming in doing 2x. You're not gonna get 10x results. So in order for you to really get to the next level, you got to come in doing the same kind of thing that you're being taught. So yeah, man, that's what I'm on right there.
It's like that quote. I've always been told like somebody can fix the table for you, but it's up for you to eat. It's up to you to eat. Like you can have the whole table set up, but I mean, it's up to you to eat the food. Like I mean, so
Man,
that's
yeah.
that's the approach that you have to take. Like no matter what in life, like you can have all the systems and everything set up, but at the end of the day, like it's up to you to just work those systems and just keep on working them and eat, and then you'll start seeing their results.
Yeah, definitely. Man, definitely. Let me get on to my wins for the day. So where I got this from, I just started reading the book, um, The Gap and the Game, um, by Dan Sullivan and got the other guy's name. Same guy, it's same two guys who wrote Who Not How and I read a couple other books. Who Not How, 10x is easier than 2x. So I started reading that book today and I didn't even realize what it was about. I know when I joined the Better Life Tribe, that was the book that they were reading at the time. And I had seen the book, but I didn't really know what it was about. I started reading it this morning, and it's everything that I've been going through these past few months, and it's like it's kind of like that's what this episode is about the dangers of comparison, and you got to run your own race. And you know how we'll be on social media and we'll be like seeing somebody do certain things, and then we'll feel like, oh, that's the bar. We have to do it that way. And you hadn't even like you gotta like look at where you at and where you got started and where you at now and kind of like do your own measurements of yourself. Because you can't do your measurement based on somebody else and what they're doing. You know what I mean? That's what we do a lot of times. And when you do that, it can cause a lot of depression. They call you want to give up, feel like you're not doing enough. I mean, I've done that. I pretty much have done that my whole life. Like I've like thought I was doing something, and then go somewhere out my comfort zone and see somebody else doing it 100 times bigger and better, and
Mhm.
I feel like, oh man, I'm a loser. I ain't doing nothing. I'll be, and that's but you can't be doing that. Like you don't know what that person, how long that person been doing. They've been doing. You know how much work they put in. All that stuff. You can't compare your journey with somebody else's journey.
It's true.
And that's hard to do in today's time, especially with, like I said, social media. You get on social media and you see everybody highlights, see everybody highlight reels. You don't see none of the bad things that go wrong. You just see all the great things go on. And then when you try to go do it, and as soon as that first bad thing happen, you just feel like giving up, or you feel like, oh man, this is not for me. I'm a loser. This ain't for me. I don't know what I'm doing. And you can't be like that. You have to really understand that those people go through stuff too. They've been through things and they still go through things. It's just they just keep pushing, and that's what you have to do. I think I got off track, so I got to get back to my wins for the day. So my wins for the day is, of course, I get to go to the gym every morning with my wife. We go to the gym and spend about 45 minutes inside the gym. And then we go. So we at Planet Fitness, and they have like the hydro beds and the massage chairs. So we'll go there and get some kind of massage there. It goes along with the memberships that we have or that she has, because she has a membership and she has like the buddy pass where you can bring somebody with you. So I'm always the person I comes with her every morning. We do that, which I love going to the gym and love being able to get in and get like 45 minutes in. And that's like a habit I've been doing for the past couple months, and it's pretty much been working off as far as just like a morning usual work routine. So that's one of my wins for the day. Second win for the day, I was able to go to Whole Foods, my favorite grocery store, and they have this golden eye turmeric latte. And they still had that. Went in there, got it, got like a 16 ounce with the 2 shots espresso instead of regular milk. I got almond milk with it. It was really good. My second win for the day. Um, my biggest win for the day was I think a week or two ago, I had a truck breakdown in Augusta, and uh, I left my car where I usually park my truck at. So I hadn't drove my car in like a week and a half. So I keep my keys inside my bag. So I got in my car yesterday to like go somewhere, and I couldn't get it started because the key wasn't detected. And I realized my key was missing. And mind you, I never take my keys out my bag unless I have to go open up a gate to get inside somewhere. Other than that, I never take my keys out. So I look at my bag and my key missing. That mean and the key is a key by itself, and it's one of those keys that's like so the car is push start, but the key has the little thing inside of the remote that you pull in, pull out,
Mhm.
which means what I'm thinking, okay, I lost my key. If I can't find it, I'll just go to the dealership and just tell them my VIN number and they can just make me another one. It don't work that way. I found that out today. And so I'm thinking, man, I don't know where I lost that key. I might have dropped it somewhere that I have no idea. Man, I mess around. I called dealership and like, "Hey, I need to get another key." They're like, what kind of car you have?" Told them the car. They're like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to get that car towed here, and then the key's gonna be like 380. Then we're gonna, charge whatever hours we have in labor to pre-program that for that car, and you got to bring in proof of ownership and all that stuff." And I'm like, "Dang!" So there's no way I can get a key, like not from scratch. 'Cause that's the only key I had. So now, like, man, it's time for that power of prayer. I get on my knees, man. I start praying. I'm like, Lord, let me find that key today. I pray that it's in my truck. The only place I can realize think that it is in my truck. So I went looking for it yesterday in my truck. I didn't see it. I kind of looked over a long bunch of stuff. I didn't see it. So I went through and I, broke everything down. Couldn't find anything. So went behind the seat and I'm moving around the seat and I don't see nothing. I'm throwing papers away. I got a bunch of like papers everywhere. And then, I swear, man, I looked down at the ground and it just like the key just popped up right there in my face
Oh
on the
wow.
ground in the
Wow.
back of the truck, like somewhere where it would never been at. Man, that's that power of prayer. I
Yeah.
was like, dang, man. I was like, I'm talking about, man, he just saved me like a good $700, $800, not have to go get another key. Like,
Mhm.
I'm like, man, but this is the second time this has happened to me where I was in a jam and I got on my knees and I'm like, Lord, I need you. That I have other situations this happened, but these are situations that I felt like almost impossible where it's like, I know I'm not gonna find that key. I'm gonna
Mhm.
go ahead and pray anyway. And because it's just like this situation is like there was no reason why my key should have been back there where it
Right.
was at. Like I
Mhm.
had to like it had to like fall off somewhere. I don't know, but I found the key. It was back there. And man, that was like I was like, man, that's
That's
a huge win for the day for me, man. I'm like, thank you, Lord. I'm
that's the
talking about,
power of
man,
prayer.
it's the power of prayer. And that's the thing that, with my Better Life Tribe will, I have my spiritual one. So the one I have the most shaded is the like the growth and learning because
Mhm.
I probably put more effort into that than I do anything as far as like reading and studying. I do more of that than I actually do being in the word. And then behind that is probably being in the word
Mhm.
or either being like or being, a good spouse. Those between those two. But as far as being in word is meaning I'm a heavy believer, but I still have my flaws. You know what I'm saying? I still have
Yeah.
my flaws. Of course, I'm still a flesh. And just that thing by itself, man, I'm talking about it just took me all the way back to like when I first got this last time this happened to me, like that's the thing that got me into going to church in the first place. This was 2008. I
Mhm.
had bought a car. So it's 2008. I bought a car from this dude. Gave him like, $4,500 for it's an old school car. It's like a 66 Impala convertible.
Mhm.
You know, I bought this car and man, here I go. I'm all excited. I wait about, we could get a week, have my mom to go down to the DMV so she can put it, register and all that for me. We get down there, they say that VIN don't match the car. I'm talking about, I checked. Now checked the VIN and I checked the car. The thing is, it was like one letter or number that was off that looked like what it should have been, meaning somebody had done finesse. So I called a dude that I get the car from. I'm like, man, the title ain't right. He got the car from a lady that her husband had went to jail. He had like 30 years or something like that. That's who he got the car from. It's like his cousin or something like that. So I don't know if they did it or he did. I don't know. To this day, I still don't know. But anyway, I'm like, dang. I'm like, I'm out of $4,500. I was like, almost all the money I had at the time. I was young. I was like 22 at the time. And like, I had done did that. And I'm like sick to my stomach. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I'm like, and I remember this dude had found out I had the car before this happened. He's like, hey man, if you ever need anything, call me. I can help you out with that car over there. Cause he's big into cars too. So I'm sitting there, man. I'm like praying in the bed, man. God, man, help me. I'm like, please help me get out of this situation. Help me get a title for this car. Help me figure this out. Get a light bulb. That voice of that dude saying, give me, hit me up if you ever need anything. I call him. I tell him the situation. He's like, come up to my house. He stay right on the street. So I go up to his house. And he like, hey man, I can get you a title for that car. And I'm like, how can you get a title for a car if like that? He like, man, I got a guy. So he like, only thing is you gotta send $200 in the mail blindly, like to somebody you don't know. I'm like, man, I just lost 45. So I'm gonna send another 200. And like at this time, I'm like, man, I gotta, try it. So I sent the $200. Man, 2 weeks later, I had a New York title to the original titles. That car came from New York, and I had the title. It was like the size of like a sticky note. It was real tiny, a tiny New York title. I guess that's how it was back in the day. I don't know if it's still like that, but
Wow.
the title was tiny, man. So I go down. I'm thinking, man, they gonna think I'm crazy. And I go down to the South Carolina DMV with this little thing, man. I go down there. I give it to them. They put everything in the system. And next thing you know, man, like it worked. I got this. They turned into a South Carolina title, and I'm talking about me and that dude became best friends for the next 10 years. I mean, me and him was together 10 years. He was a big church dude. I started going to church faithful. That's when you first start coming to Newburgh. Right after that,
Yeah.
that's what got me there was that situation. Cause I was like, man,
Wow.
I prayed, God came in, and I knew He was real. Like
Mhm.
I knew He was real, but when you actually have an experience, and
Yeah.
he like do something for you, that's when you like, man. That's why like anybody be denying. I'm like, man, look, I don't had too many situations where he done came in and really, stood on business and took care of me when I got on them knees and I was calling for him. So I know he real. So
That's
anybody
a
say he ain't,
scripture in
that's
the
on
Bible.
them. You know what I'm saying? I know you know how that go.
It's a scripture in the Bible that says, "Seek His will, and He'll show you which path to take." And so that's the key. You just got to continue to seek His will just daily. It's Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all its righteousness. And so that just means waking up in the morning, having that devotion time with God, even if it's like start small. I mean, even if it's like 5 minutes, like you do your Lord's Prayer, then you go into your prayer life, thanking God for everything He's doing, thanking Him for allowing you to wake up and see another day, thanking Him for allowing you to be a blessing to your family, thanking Him for allowing you to find the keys to your truck, and then you go into then you ask God what you need, and then He'll give you He'll send it to you, and sometimes He'll do it through a person. You just don't know, but you just gotta be in that right mindset and just have faith. And that's the biggest thing, faith. That it's all gonna work together for our good. Because in the end, it always will work together for our good.
Right.
And so just knowing that, keeping in the back of your head, no matter what you go through life, that God already has it worked out, and He's just preparing you for what you prayed for. And sometimes it's a process, but you just gotta trust the process.
Man, you right about that, man. I'm talking about, man, you right about that. So man, that's like been telling you, man, them being testimonies, man. So
Yeah.
it's crazy what leads you to it's crazy the things that will lead you to the world to the word. Because I know some people go through tragic things. Like my thing was a material situation, which I mean is a situation. I mean,
Yeah.
material money situation, but you got other people who go through like actual tragedies, or maybe somebody don't die, they lost a child, they lost a parent, they don't lost somebody. They can't no there's no coming back from.
All
And
right.
that stuff leads into the Lord. It's just they have mysterious ways of getting there, but the whole thing is getting there, and staying grounded, man. But that just really, really, I was like, man, that made me feel so guilty about a lot of things that, like, sometimes when you feel like sometimes you're not worthy of, like, you don't deserve the things, the blessings and stuff that God has given you because you haven't, um you haven't done the things you know you should be doing. You haven't been as obedient as you know you could be. You have way more
Mhm.
potential to be more obedient. You've been living, you know what I'm saying? You've been in the world done captured you. You know where you were at a time and you know where you at now. And you're like, at a time I was like 100% dedicated. Now I'm like 95% or 90% dedicated. And it's kind of like, and it just keeps getting lower and lower because you just keep getting pulled and pulled and pulled until something happens and you back saying, hey man, I'm sorry I ain't been where I need to be in a while,
Mhm.
but I need you. And he always show up, man. So yeah, man.
That's why it's so key having like that relationship with God. I mean, because you can go to Him at all times, and I mean, it's just and stuff's gonna come up, and that's where it's just. And sometimes it's just a test to see, okay, how are you gonna handle the situation? God's just looking to see, okay, are you gonna look to me as your source, or are you gonna look to man as your source? And God provides everything that we need. So it's just you just find scripture for that particular thing that you're dealing with, and then you just speak the word, and then you apply that word, and you meditate on that word day and night, and then stuff will start opening up for you. And then you'll be
Right,
like, wow, and it makes you want to draw even closer to God because it's just like, okay, this when stuff comes up now, okay, Lord, like, okay, I know I'll find the scripture on this, or I'll find a scripture on that, or however the case may be. So that way, when stuff come up, okay, all right, got the word for it.
right, man. That is 100, man. Telling you. Hey, so is there have you have any situations that you can really speak on as far as like being in those situations where um you doing that comparison thing where you feel like you know what you want to do, you know where you want to be, and you may start doing it, but then you may feel like you're not living up to the standards because of whatever social media is in like she's showing you, meaning like if you want to be great, this is what you need to be. Meaning you can be doing great things. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Meaning you can be way further than when you were when you got started. But because your peers or other people you see doing things are doing so many things bigger than what you are doing, you've been in a situation where you feel like, man, I just don't have what it takes.
Yeah. And I always go back to is a scripture that I keep on my wall at my office. It's Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11. And it says, for I know the plans that I have for your life are plans to prosper and to be in good health. And so I always look back and I say, like, you know what, God, He has the plans for my life, and I trust Him with it. And I know that everything that I've been praying and believing God for, everything that I'm going through now is preparing me and positioning me for that. And everybody's story is going to be different, but God, He'll send the right people along your path that will help you, who have no hidden agendas, who just want to see you succeed. And then that's why it's so important that you surround yourself with people who are on a higher level than you are, because you can learn from those people. And I've always been taught that oil flows down. So whatever other people are doing, especially with it being the right thing, that's going to flow down on your life. It's like we always tell each other, we're the average of like the five people we surround ourselves with. So if three out of the five people in your group are buying up properties or doing business, then eventually that's going to rub off on you, because you're going to see that synergy that they have, and it's going to motivate you. And so I feel like a lot of people, like, back to your point, where they see people on social media doing better than them, they feel like, okay, I got to go out here and just do it now. Where no, those people, they paid a price, and it's you don't want to pay that same price that they paid. You want to be able to walk out the plan that God has for you. He's going to send the people that you need to do like those people are doing. And then eventually you'll get there, and that will inspire other people. Then you can share your testimony with them saying, hey, like, it was times to where it took me the X amount of times to get my first deal under contract. It took me this amount of times to go through this many contractors to get this done. I had to go through this business, through this business, through this business, through this business to get my very first profit, to make profit. But at the end of the day, like, you kept pushing through it, and you took the blows, and you took the losses, and you took the failures, and you took the people never supporting you, and you took the people always saying that your business would never be nothing. But now look, you're doing it the right way. You laid God as the foundation for your business. Your business is prospering, and you continue to motivate other people, and you're inspiring people, and He'll put you on different platforms to show that God can use anybody, no matter where you're from, no matter what you've been through, no matter what your circumstances would be. Because just back to what you said with your trucking, You just prayed and you had faith that, you know what, I'm gonna find my keys, and that's when God stepped in.
Man, powerful, man. You speaking that stuff, man. Sorry about that. I don't have my alarm set just in case I overslept. The night, we was talking about doing it at 7:30. I was like, make sure I set my alarm or whatever. So just snooze thing just came on. But yeah, man, was that what you saying, man? That is definitely powerful. That makes a lot of sense. Have you been in a situation where have been in a situation that I guess you know how it is, like, I don't know if this might be just me, but, like, for example, like, when you do something and you wanna share it with like, when you do something, you wanna share it with the people that you're closest to, your friends, your family, whoever. You wanna share your wins, like, you wanna share, like, say you go buy a property tomorrow
Hmm.
and or whatever, or something big happens to you and you just get some kinda huge blessing and maybe whatever. I ain't gonna say blessed, Imma say money because we talking about money and we talking about the big things. So let's say you get some money and you don't wanna come off as if you're bragging. That's kinda how we are sometimes where we do things and we don't wanna be, like, going up, rubbing it in somebody's face or telling them about what we kinda, like, hide the things we do from certain people
Yeah.
because we don't want them to feel like we acting like we're better than them or, or especially if they're going through a hard time. It's hard to talk about the good things you're doing when to somebody that's going through a hard time because
Hmm.
they don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like hard. You being in those situations where you had some things, some big blessings come your way, and you want to like just tell somebody because you're so excited and you want to share it with somebody like, oh my God, God has blessed me with this, that, and the third, and you want to tell them that, and but deep down, their character. When you tell them what you got going on, you gonna feel the sourness in them because either they might be your friend, but they might be a hater too, and
Hmm.
people are flesh. So sometimes, as long as you ain't doing better than them, they good. Because I've been in those situations where I've had friends that's doing way better than me. I'm talking about way better than me. And
Hmm.
as soon as I do anything that seems like I'm creeping up on whatever they got going on,
Yeah.
it's like you can just feel that you can feel the hate, you can feel like the tension. And a
Yeah.
lot of times I don't take it like they know any better. I can just take it as them being in the flesh and they're not used to me being in this position. And I don't look at it no different as far as like I feel like like down in them, like they ain't gonna be my friend anymore because they're a hater. I was looking like you doing what normal people do in these situations. It
Right.
take it take a person of God to understand and be happy for other people. It's hard, especially in our community. It's hard a lot of times for us to be happy for
Hmm.
other people,
That's
especially
real.
you know what I mean? Because like you think about like, and you can't do too good for too long. Because like somebody like for example, I'm not the biggest LeBron fan. I'm not a LeBron hater either. But I mean, you gotta think about it. It's people who can't stand LeBron.
Right.
And it's kinda weird, you know what I'm saying? It's like people can't stand LeBron, and it's only because, like I said, doing what he's been doing for so long and being you know what I mean? And that's kinda like how it is in our this world. We got to find something on somebody. Like, you can't
Yeah.
be doing like, we be
Yeah.
biggest
That's like.
fans of this person, and now we tear him down because, "Ah, nah, you been winning too long." Just like a crab, you be like a crab. "Nah, come back here." You know what I'm saying? So
And that's where people, and that's where so many times people, where they miss the blessing, because it's a test sometimes. Like sometimes, like, people, God will bless other people with what we prayed for, just to see how are we going to handle it. And if you celebrate that person, God's going to release it to you. And so that's one thing I've learned now. Like, I always, whenever I'm blessed with something, I always say, to God be the glory, because if it wasn't for God, then I wouldn't have had it. And then second, I try to go and I try to help other people. Like, hey, like, this is what I did. And so it's like, you just, you show it, and then it's like, we bet, like you said, you get a table, but it's up to the individual to eat.
yeah.
Hmm.
That is so true, man. That's like I'm the same way, man. Like, I
and
go
it
out my
and it
way.
helps people, and it motivates them, like, hey, like, this person did this, like, that motivates me, like, so once you share it, like, okay, like, that should motivate somebody else, like, hey, if that person can get this, then that motivates me, that I can do it too. Not saying you
Right.
got to do all the steps that they did, but it's a motivation. It can be a motivation tool, and it all
Right.
starts in the mind.
Right, and that's the thing about stuff, like, you ever heard the story about Roger Bannister? You know who that is?
But no. Uh-uh.
So Roger Bannister, he's the first person to ever run um a mile under 4 minutes or
Hmm.
something like that. Yeah, he's the first person to ever run a mile. Yeah, he's the first person to ever run a mile under 4 minutes.
Okay.
And this was like back in like the 50s or so. I may have my dates mixed up, but I mean, they can like Google his name and Google the story. But anyway, he's like the first person to run a mile like under 4 minutes. That's I mean. I mean, nobody had done it until it was almost impossible at the time. Like until he did it. And once he did it, I don't know how long it was. It might have been like maybe a couple months later, somebody else did it. And after that, it's been so many people done it since then. But
Hmm.
that's what I'm saying. A lot of times I get inspired by other people when they do
Yes.
things, big things. It kind of show you these other people kind of show you what's possible. Not to
Hmm.
saying that like you couldn't think it's possible, but it makes the path so much smoother and it makes the tunnel vision so much better when you just know another human being was able to accomplish something that it was almost impossible to accomplish.
That's
And
so
it,
true.
it makes it even better if you're connected to that person. You know what I mean? Like when I got into wholesaling, I never like I didn't like wholesaling because I felt like it was like a sales job and I felt like it was like I just felt like you had to sit around and wait for something to happen. I was like, man, I didn't know any person I didn't know any wholesaler personally that I knew that I could just that I knew was doing things
Hmm.
until I did. And then when I knew someone that was actually doing wholesaling that was doing things and I seen them go from 0 to 100, like, just like that. Like, it wasn't overnight, but it was, like, pretty fast, and it was
Yeah.
unbelievable. Like, I was so happy for him. Like, I was super happy for him. I was so happy for him. I wanna learn everything from him. You know what I mean? So he tell me to do certain things as far as to do it a certain way, I'm doing it the exact same way.
Hmm.
No matter somebody be like, "Why you do it?" 'Cause I've done like, I'll do things like I may buy the most expensive, way of skip tracing, right? One of the most expensive ways. They be like, why you use that?" I'm like, "Person that taught me how to do it. That's what they
Yeah.
use. That's what I'm using." You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know, and that's if he teach me to do it this way, and this is how he doing it, and I'm seeing this person make like 6 figures a month, back to back, back to back, back to back.
Facts.
That's crazy to me. Never would have thought that. And I seen him do that. So by seeing that, I'm doing everything he tell me to do.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Cause like that's how it is. It's like, why I'm gonna do something different? Like I'm gonna do something different, try to do it my way.
Don't
No, I'm
reinvent
gonna
the
do it
wheel.
his way. You know what I'm saying? Now I get to the point and I figure some stuff out on my own, I'll start doing it. But right now, while I'm still in this process of learning, I'm doing it the exact same way that he's showing me how to do it because it's working. And I did it and it worked for me. So I feel like once it started working for me, I'm like, hey man, that's proof of concept. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it this way. You know what I mean? So, but that's how it is with with a lot of things. So I want to get into like I want to be able to get into large multifamily stuff. That's the main reason why one of the big reasons why I got into the Better Life Tribe because I want to get into large multifamily. And I figured what's a better way than getting large multifamily by getting to the multifamily people, like the guy who's doing it on that next level. Why not get into his group, be able to rub elbows with those people, and be able to learn from it? You know what I mean? I feel like that's the thing, investing in yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's exactly how it is, man. You trying to think. It was something that happened because you went to Clemson, right?
Agree with that.
Oh, okay. I thought you had went to Clemson. Yeah, I had thought you had went to Clemson. But you're a big Clemson fan, though, right?
Yeah, real big. Yeah, I mean,
It,
everybody asked me, do I go to Clemson?
yeah, yeah.
But
That's why I thought you
honestly,
went to
yeah,
Clemson
but
because
I'm
I
just
like I
like,
said, yeah, I think he went to Clemson because I seen you with a lot of Clemson stuff. So,
yeah.
um, I was something that happened. It was something that happened down there, man. That had something to do with real estate. And I was gonna ask you about it, but I can't remember what it was. I have to come back to it. But I said, dang, I gotta ask Mike about that because I know he's like a Clemson guy. So,
Mhm.
man, definitely. How was it? How was it like? How was it like going to Tech? Like, I went to Greenville Tech for truck driving training. Yeah, I went to Greenville Tech truck driving training. I loved it. I mean, it's to me, in my opinion, it's probably the best truck driving school in America.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I guess I can't say that because I haven't been to all the schools, but it was an amazing school as far as like how they teach you. Like the one thing I tell you they do at that school. So there, when you get into like driving trucks and you get into learning how everything goes, as far as learning the pre-trip, learning how to do the skills, and actually learning how to drive the truck. When they're teaching you, they teach you when they're teaching you, they're teaching you the hard way to do it. Meaning they make things hard for you, so that way when you get down there to take the test, is simple. Like, for example, they're teaching you how to back 1,000 feet straight in a straight line, back 1,000 feet. You doing that every day, backing 1,000 feet, not knowing when you get to that DMV in 9 weeks, you only gonna back 100 feet.
Mm.
See how that? See what I mean? Like they getting you to back 1,000 feet every single day. So you get to DMV, you thinking, man, you don't figure you don't learn how to back 1,000 feet. So you get to DMV, they want you to do 100. It want you to do 100 feet, and it's like, dang. And it's certain things, so they teaching you. That's how they taught, and it was like when you got to the DMV, it was so easy. But it was the second time I had went. I had went in 2000. I went in 2004.
Mhm.
I failed my test like 2 or 3 times, gave up on it. I used to give up on everything back then, man. Every time I get in something and it would get too hard for me, I just give up. So that
Mm.
was just that was like what I was known for, or I was known for it to myself. That's what I was known for. I felt like if something was too hard, then it wasn't for me, and I'm just gonna like quit and just move on and go wherever I'm just comfortable. So I went to trucking school. I wasn't focused. I was distracted. Only thing on my mind at the time was my car, fix my car, because I'm a big, huge car person. So everything I do a lot of times have to do something with a car, and that's all I was worried about was my car. I wanted to get my CDL, but I want to get my CDL so I can make a lot of money to put into my car.
Right.
That's all it was about. It was like get my CDL and buy a bunch of cars. Like I wasn't thinking about moving, get my own spot, none of that. It was like I was going my thing was the I was gonna be the car person in that area. I was gonna have the most cars, the best cars, all that. That was like my goal. But I felt, and it took me 6 years to get it together as far as like getting the confidence to go back to school and get my CDL. And that all came from new birth. Like all came from Kingdom Seminary. Like with Bishop. Bishop was talking about going back to school, finishing some things and all that stuff. That's what he kept on talking about. When I first started going to that church, he started talking about going back to school and finishing some things or going back doing whatever you gave up on. I felt like, dang, he must be talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even know him at the time. I had none of that.
Powerful.
I was thinking he was talking to me, and I just went. I did exactly what he said. I went back to school and I finished and I
Oh
got my
well.
CDL, and I was like, I'm talking about, and it was a breeze because I was more focused. My mind was more clear. Only thing I did back then was I go to church on Wednesday, I go to church on Wednesday and go to church twice on Sunday. Because you
Mm.
remember back then they used to have that they used to have the early service at
Yeah.
that place in Greenville near
Krispy
Krispy
Kreme.
Kreme on
Yeah, it was
Pleasantburg.
Pleasantburg.
Ye
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they used to have yeah, so I'll go to the morning service there, and then I drive to the service on Brusher Creek, and I did it like 2 years, however long I was doing it. I was doing
Mhm.
it because I was like I was all the way in. I was dialed all the way in. I'm talking about I'm buying the merch, I'm buying the jackets, I'm buying all the DVDs, all that stuff. I was all the way in. I had cut all my friends off. Now I was still friends with my friends. I just wasn't hanging with them. I wasn't on the phone with them. They was
Right.
just my boys. I didn't go nowhere but there. I just hung out. I just went to church and went home. I went to church and I was at home on watching like truck movies. I was watching like what's the name of that movie with the Trans Am? Smokey and the Bandit. I was like Smokey and the Bandit, Convoy. I was watching anything that had to do with trucking. That's what I was watching. And I was going to church. That's it. There's only two things I was like on that one thing. And that's before I knew what the one thing was.
Yeah.
That's all I was on. And like, man, I got my CDL easily and it changed my life, man. I'm talking about like just by me going somewhere and cutting out the distractions and
Mhm.
getting focused and doing what I was supposed to do, like it changed the whole trajectory of my life. Like I'm
That's
talking
powerful.
about I went from living with my mom my whole life up to age I think I was 24, 25, something like that, to moving to Atlanta, staying in Atlanta maybe like 2 or 3 months, and then buying my first house after being in Atlanta for 3 months.
Mm.
And like, I'm talking about it was like everything was like quick, and then I got married like, uh, maybe 7, 8 months after that. I don't know I mean, probably got my dates mixed up, but it wasn't long. Like, so
Mhm.
I moved to Atlanta like March 2011. I got married March 2012. So it was a year after I had moved to Atlanta. But yes, I moved to Atlanta March 2011. I bought a house August 2011. I got engaged August 2011. I got married March 2012. That's
Mm.
like how my like it's just everything was just going fast. and I didn't have nothing to compare with. Only people I was comparing myself with and people I was looking up to were like the the older guys in the church that were like married, they had
Mhm.
families and all that stuff. I was trying to be like, I felt like, oh, okay, I need to be like them because that's what God wants. So that's kind of like what that was kind of like what I was comparing myself to. Like you see their life, you see how they living, you see how God wants you to. That's I'm just living my. That's what I started doing. So that's kind of like I was going. But the thing was at the time was I was doing all that stuff and I was doing what God wanted me to do, but my mind was still young. Like I still had like a 26, 25, 26-year-old mind as far as inside,
Mm.
internal. Outside, I was a different person. And
Right.
and when someone see me, I was a different person. But deep down, I still had still had myself that had to deal with. So that took like
Yeah.
time to get it took time to like probably like a year, another year and a half to like form into like I didn't really get it together until I was like 28,
Mhm.
almost 28 or something like that. That's when I saw I was 28, I was all the way dialed in and I'm pretty much the same person I am now. I'm probably I'm as far as like, being a decent human being.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I was 28, 27, 20, that's when I became to myself as far as being like a loyal, decent human being. As far as being having some compassion, because I still have to work on my compassion sometimes with stuff. I can be hard on people. Um and it's just a trait of mine because sometimes if I think people are capable of more and they may not know they're capable of more, I can be super or I feel like people maybe have a little laziness in them or something like that. I kinda like point that out and I don't I don't be, sugarcoating it. I let them know what it is, man. But I can be more compassionate, so,
That's real though, man. And it's good that you're able to identify that you can see like, hey, like I see the potential that you have, and I just want to be able to help you get there. And I just want to, because sometimes people don't have that, they don't have that support system. They don't have nobody like saying, hey, like I see something in you. It's just like they just go through life, but having like that right person, like right there, says like, hey, I see the true potential that you have in you. Like you got this. Like it may not be easy, but you're gonna get to where you're supposed to be. And so like, this is small things, and people will never forget that. So that's powerful, though, man.
it's crazy, man. Telling you. Definitely could be like that, man. But, like I said, we learn so much, man, about, how things is. Um, got anything that you're reading right now?
Just still reading Atomic Habits. There's just one book that I came across. It's called, and I think it's called "What Got You There Won't Keep You There."
Let me see, look that up. You said
I
what
saw it on
got
Amazon. What got
what
you there
got
won't
you
keep you there.
okay, I think Marshall goes let me see if I can pull it up, bring it up on the screen so people can see what we got going on here. What got you there won't keep you here. Yeah, see it right here on Amazon. Let me see if I can share my screen. Can you see it?
Yeah, that's it. Yep, that's it.
Okay, what got you there? What got you here won't get you there. How successful people became even more successful. Oh, let me I got definitely bookmark this one as far as
That's the
did I
next
look
one
at
on the list.
yeah. It sounds like a really good book. Um saying America sought off executive coach shows how to climb the last few rungs of the ladder. The corporate world is filled with executives, men and women who have worked hard for years to reach the upper levels of management. It seemed like a really good book, man. I'm definitely gonna have to add this to my list. My little list thing. I used to have a little thing where I could like it, put like a star next to it, but I'll come back to it. And you said Atomic Habits, right? That's another book that I started. I've never finished it, and it's really good. That's one thing about me and books. It's hard. It takes me like I'll start a book and then have to come back to it like years down the line or some time point down the line. Yeah,
Hmm.
I had to, because I don't know, man. It's like sometimes I'll read based on whatever I'm going through or whatever's in my mind, and I might be reading something and I may not need it at the time, and I know I'll just say I'm gonna come back to it, which means I can be read the book halfway, almost read the book halfway through, meaning almost done with the book, stop reading it, pick it up again 2 years later, meaning I'm gonna start it all over again, That way I can really get, you know, the juices out of it,
Hmm.
and that's how does Atomic Habit. I feel like I'm gonna definitely complete this book, um, sometime this year. I know because, like I said, everybody always talks about this book. Um, and like I said, right now I'm reading let's say it's called the Gap in the Game. The Gap in the Game. Pull that up. Gap. The Gap in the Game. Yeah, this is the one.
Hmm.
So right, yeah, right now I'm reading this book, and this book is really good. Like, I've been sitting on this book for a while, man. So, and I just finally poked it up. I was like, let me check this out this morning because I was gonna read this. I was reading that book, and I was reading. I started reading this book called only the paranoid survive. This book about the Intel CEO guy. This book he
Uh-huh.
wrote, and it's kind of like, this book kind of like, talks about like being. It's not telling you to always be paranoid, but it's saying like people who are paranoid are more cautious because they're worried about something going wrong as far as in their business and stuff like that. Don't get too comfortable, and it just talks about how certain companies got comfortable and how Intel didn't, and how they always stayed ahead of the curve because they was like always like fighting as if they wasn't gonna make it and all that. So I hadn't finished the book. I gotta go back and start all over again. But this is a really good book, and I'm gonna show you another book that Principles. Principles is one of my favorite books. This is one of my favorite books right here. Um, this book right here, Principles by Ray Dalio. This book right here, man, is an amazing book. I had I went to Universal Studios last year, went to like Disney World and all that stuff. And I
Hmm.
had to take my truck to the shop. And in the back of my mind, I knew I might have to rebuild my engine. I knew I might have to, but just in case I did, I went ahead and took it to the shop, told them to check it out, call me, let me know what's going on. I had read this book on my flight to Orlando, and he was going through in this book. He talks about from the time he like was a child to the time he went to college, got out of college, got his first job, started his first business. Um, Failed in his first business, like, in the first 6 years, had to borrow money from his dad just to get himself back together to, like, turn it into a billion-dollar company, and he talked
Hmm.
about it, like, in each step from when it was, like, negative company to, a $100,000 company to $1,000,000 company to a $50,000,000 company, on up, like, he's going through each stages. He has notes from all those times, and it was just something about this book, what he's talking about how he handled situations, like, a lot of times you can get super emotional about something that you don't have to be super emotional about, but because we're human beings and we're flesh, we can get really emotional about a decision that you have to make as far as like what's best for the like on my way home today, I was almost home, but I just thought I know I need to go get a part from AutoZone, which is another win for me today. And I'm like, ah, got to get that part. It's not like I don't like have to have it, but I need it. I kinda need it. Like, it'll
Hmm.
make things so much easier for me to get it, take care I need to take care of. But I'm like, usually, I'll just go home and I'll take care of it later. So I get almost home, I'll go ahead and turn around, and I go all the way on the other side of town to get this part because I know they're gonna be closed when I get ready to go to work tonight. 'Cause I'm probably gonna go to work tonight, like, maybe, like, 11, 10, 11 o'clock, something late. So I ain't gonna be able to get what I need. So I went ahead and got it. And I was thinking about like thinking about Ray Dalio, it's like you have to do what's best for the situation, and what's best for the situation was that part versus my feelings. Meaning you had to do things. You need to do things that you know what you're supposed to do. Meaning do the right thing even when you don't feel like doing the right thing.
Hmm.
Like that's like you have to do the right thing even when you don't feel like doing it because it's the right thing, and it's gonna make your life easier and it's gonna make everything easier. But like you said, sometimes us as a flesh of people, we don't always do that. We usually, you know, we kind of like, I get to it some other time, so a lot of times that's how I be a lot of times, man.
Keep putting it off.
Yeah, keep putting it off. Keep putting it off. And when you do that, man,
It compounds.
it compounds over and over, man. And that could be with trash, junk, clean up, all those different things that, you know, uh, notes that you're supposed to take, webinars you're supposed to watch. And these are all stuff I deal with. Like I have webinars that I'm supposed to look at and watch that I'm keep getting behind. It keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Dang. I got books I'm supposed to be reading that I hadn't read. And I'm reading, but like I said, a lot of times I'm reading something else that where my mind is at. But I might start something, but you don't want to keep putting things out. You want to make the time for those things. Cause I sure make time for all those TV shows that I have to watch. Like I don't get behind on Power. I don't get behind on Hightown. I don't get behind on none of my favorite TV shows because those like one of my favorite things to do in life is watch TV series. Like I love TV series. I love cars. Um, I like business stuff. I like what business stuff can do for you. I like being a part of it. I like being an entrepreneur. Um, I can't say I love being an entrepreneur. I just like it. I think I enjoy it. Um, I love watching TV series. I love relaxing. I love unwinding. I enjoy like things, that other stuff. Because the thing is, I know what that stuff can do for you. That's like it's kind of like I don't like I don't like eat. I guess I tolerate eating healthy, but I much rather eat junk. Like I could, I much rather eat junk, but I know that when I eat junk, I know how it makes me feel. I know how
Mhm.
like it makes me unproductive. So that's kind of how it is with a whole bunch of stuff in life. You know what I'm saying? You just
And it goes
think,
back to what you said, like investing in yourself, and that's the number one thing that most people put off is investing in themselves. And they do all the other traits where investing in yourself is like that number one priority.
yeah, I'm one priority, man. Telling you, man. Man, I'm telling you, this is always a good banger then when we can get together, man, do these little clips together, man. I'm telling you. So hey, I'm gonna tell you what's been going crazy is people been hitting me up. Like they be thinking, I guess when they see these clips, they be thinking like they been like they just happened. So a lot of times I'm like, nah, we been recorded that. But people been hitting me like, hey man, I seen the video just you and that dude did, man. Like he's like a preacher. So they thought you was like I'm like, yeah, I said he do be preaching. But they thought because you talk like you sound like you like heavy in the church. Like, yeah, he heavy in the church, man. They thought I was on, so they thought I was like on so I was like, yeah, like, let's, do like we start doing these like, weekly, man, try to make these videos
You
because
don't know who we're
I
gonna who we're gonna reach, like an impact, and it motivates them, and
mhm,
that's what it's all about. Like when God blesses you, you share it, and it motivates other people. Like, hey, like I do have a purpose on this earth.
yeah,
Like whatever I'm dealing with right now, it's not gonna last forever. It's just temporary.
right.
And eventually it's just like growing up. We would get on the bike, ride the bike, we fall off, but you know what? We get back up, we brush our skin off. We may have a little bit of bruises, and we may
Mhm,
have a little bit of wounds, but those wounds will show that hey, something may have happened to us, but we're still able to walk, we're still able to write, we're still able to ride our bike. And it's the same way with life. We're gonna have some bumps and bruises, but those can be shareable points and testimonies, like saying, hey, I done been through war, I done been through I've lost it all. I've been to
mhm,
where I've had nothing in life, to where I've only had $1 to my name. But you know what? Still here to this day, and God still provides for me and my family. So
man.
that's motivation for somebody.
Motivation, man.
That's motivation, like literally for somebody. Like, hey, like you could be. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it at my job anymore. But you know what? You just go into your job. You just you show up on time. You have the right attitude. You treat your associates right, and then who knows? A door may open up for you. But it's
Right,
just being consistent at it, and just being able to share your light with other people. That's the biggest thing.
man, yeah. That's what I was telling people, man. Like some people been seeing these things, and they like, man. I'm like, dang, y'all been seeing like I don't like once the thing get because I got this thing on the thing that like does all the stuff for me, like it edits it, it posts, does all that stuff for me.
Hmm.
So I don't know when it gets posted until I get an alert. Only time I see that it get posted, well, what I do is I'll check my Instagram, and if it uploads to my Instagram, then I know that it's uploading everywhere else. So
Okay.
I'll like the Instagram posts because that means because now I'm finna share it to Facebook. So like it on Instagram. I share it to Facebook and then I put it in the story. So people been like seeing it and people been like, I can see like it has like a couple views. So I'm like, people seeing it, watching it. I was like, that's pretty cool. And like what I'm gonna start doing is I can get 1% better on each one, meaning like we make these and I can see, okay, I need to do this to the light and I need to do this to the audio. I need to speak more clearly. I need to have more of a subject line. I need to have more of a bullet point. And as we going and we getting better and we adjusting stuff, like I knew I'm like, okay, I don't want the the rail of my microphone in the camera. So this time when I got ready to get set up, I made sure I got my mic adjusted right in front of me where it's here versus, if I can move my camera, you might be able to see it. Uh See how, like, this right here is right here? I
Hmm.
made sure that it wasn't, all in the camera and stuff, so it's like, I'm trying to do certain things. I want to be able to, like, get Muhammad Ali in the back there, and I'm just trying to, do certain little things to tweak it, because 'cause we gonna get it together. I just right now, I'm just in that process of just trying to just get one just a little bit better each time, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So, that's the whole thing, man, but, man, I always appreciate you being able to take the time to be able to do this, you know, um this the episode was, about comparison. Um, the next episode may be about investing in yourself because we touched on a little bit on this one, but it just depends on what a lot of times it just depends on what come up and
Right.
with us, you know what I'm saying? So it just depends. But we gonna whatever it is, we gonna make it happen, man.
Well, thank you for having me on this evening. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, no doubt, man, no problem, man. I appreciate you taking the time to, be able to come out, man. And so we'll be at it again sometime, maybe this week sometime. I just, you tell me next time you free and I'll let you know when I'm free and we'll figure something out.
Sounds great.
Got you, man. You got anything else you want to let people know that you got going on, or if you have anything that you're trying to promote or all that stuff, or you anything that you're looking for, anything you looking for, a lot of times you got people like realtors, you got all kind of people that watch these videos. So you're looking for a realtor, if you're looking for a contractor, whatever like that, they're probably like, "Hey, I'm this," and they can put whatever they do in the comments. We gonna see it, and then we'll reach out and all that stuff just in case you need something. So you got anything that you need?
Um, no, just wanted to just motivate everybody to just like keep pressing. I mean, we're only 2 months into the new year, so I mean, whatever goals you have, just come up with a plan. Just have faith and just stick to them. But just make sure that just know that every day is a gift from the Lord, and that's a win. It's every day you wake up. So
What's up, man?
and so everything's gonna work itself out in the end. You just got to keep on, just keep pressing, and just inspire others. I mean, you don't have to go here and just do a lot, but just the small things, just the small things that matter, and those things add up, and they'll make a positive and tremendous impact on somebody's life.
Man, that's powerful, man. Shoot, man. On that note, man, I guess we go ahead and get on out of here, man. We appreciate anybody who checked this thing out. You know what I'm saying? Episode 2. So we're trying to get this stuff going, man. And like we'll see y'all next time, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
All
Be
right.
easy out there.
You too. Thank you.